And what I usually do is just to ask as a students, which to present options, right? And that's what I want to do right now. So I know that some of you work. That's why I don't want to take a decision on just okay. I'm gonna do this because I'm taking the class day, so I don't want to um, uh, just take decisions and probably affect you, right? I don't want to affect your schedule either. So I have basically two options. Got it? But that will depend on what you say. The first option is if we start the class, if we cover partially the class on Thursday, let's say like 2 hours, or we cover not recording the class next Sunday. The thing is that I don't really know how Mr. Peña will take it first, because I can record the class, and but so far he has told me to do so. I don't know if your professor um, last period did it, right? So I don't know, because that's my instruction that I need to be, with you. So the first option was to cover, let's say, 2 hours on Thursday. Let's see, from 6 to 8. And the other one is to cover another hour on Friday, like let's say from 6 to 7, right? Because I need to go to the airport, right? And I cannot make it. I can make it earlier, um, but let's say probably from 6 to 7 or 5 to 6, something like that, on Friday, right? So that's the first option. 2 hours on Thursday, let's say from 6 to 8, and 1 hour on PM. Yeah, it's PM. I'm sorry, I didn't say it. Yeah, it's PM. It's not AM. No, no. At that time I can't, because I also work in my university and I need to teach at 8. So that's the first option. The other option, Friday, would be something like around 6 to 7 or 7 to 8, right? Because I'm planning to leave to the airport like around 9. So it can be, let's say, Thursday from 6 to 8 and Friday from 6 to 7 or 5 to 6, depending on your time. That would be the first option. The other option is to have the class after vacations. So, but when I say after vacation, is on Monday 18. So far, and as far as I know, that day is off, right? Is that the last day for vacations? So on that day, I don't work, and I'm gonna be here. Got it? So the other option is to have, let's say, that class in the afternoon, if you do not have any problem. Got it? So that means that we can cover, let's say, like at least 2 hours and a half. Yeah, we can make it, I don't know, from 5 to 7, 7:30 or something like that, or from 6 to 8:30, something like that. Okay, we can fix the schedule, I mean, according to your preferences. So uh, that's the option, right? That's the option. So I want to know, and probably you can write it in the chat if you open the mic, and just make sure that you raise your hand first, and then we can have the talking. So the two options are Well, and the third option would be to record the class, but you know that's something that probably Mr. Peña won't allow. I mean, honestly, and I don't want to have to cause any issue with him. You know, he's really strict, right? So, so he's strict with students and with teachers too. So, I don't want to have any issue with him. So, especialmente porque antes yo daba 2 cursos y ahora solo me ha dado uno. Entonces, quizás something happened and I didn't know. So, in your case, you will be working both days, Alejandra? Okay, so let's take a look at the chat. Okay. Okay. So tell me. Okay. I got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I know. I understand, Alejandra. I understand. I understand. So obviously, if you cannot attend the class, you know, I can make an exception, right? I can make an exception if you watch the video later. Okay, but you need to let me know in advance that you won't be able to come, right? Got it? Yeah, you can watch it later. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is, for example, I know a couple of you are not in the country, are not in El Salvador. Okay, but okay, let's take a decision first. Yeah. So it's because I don't have the poll thing. So what do you prefer? Classes Thursday, Friday this week, or classes on Monday, the 18th? Okay, it's gonna be like 2 hours and a half, like 2 hours and a half. So what option would fit for you? Please write it in the chat. Yes, Daniela?
Yes, I don't have a problem with the classes if they start like the afternoon, because I have to work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
But yes, at 6 p.m. it's okay for me, because I
Okay.
have to work even on vacation. So
I know, and that's the issue. Some of you are working on vacations, right? So Jancy says Monday at night. Okay. So I think that also Natalie says Monday night works too. So I need your participation over here. So please, everybody, help me with this. Because I'm asking, and then if there is any issue, normalmente cuando uno les pregunta a los alumnos y no responden, se toma una decisión y después dicen que el teacher fue el malo y que no les preguntó. Yes? Monday night sounds good, says Nixon. Yeah? Good. What else? Somebody else who would like to say something?
yeah, I want to say something.
Yeah.
But what if, because my schedule is going to change the next week, because I will start working from 3 p.m. to midnight. So
Okay.
if I can attend to the meeting, it won't be any problem.
No, there won't be any problem in this case because we are switching from one day to another one, right? So in that case, I need to be flexible. Obviously, those who can come because they don't have any excuse, they should join, right? So they should join. Okay. Good. So I think that everybody has a strong opinion on Monday night. So that sounds good. So that sounds good. Sunday night, Sunday. Yeah, my Monday. I'm sorry, Monday. So Monday, also we have Edwin saying that Monday and Monday. Okay. So we're going to have the class on Monday. On Monday, let's say the 18th. Okay, Monday the 18th. Okay, so please keep it in the calendar, Monday 18th. And the other thing is, some of you, a couple of you, as far as I know, won't be in the country. I mean, let's say on the on the next month. Let's say. So if we check the calendar, and I shared with you the calendar, we are going to have a group presentation, right? And I know that a couple of you are not here or won't be here in the country because that's a face-to-face evaluation. So I'm thinking about changing the activity because of this, because it was intended to be a group presentation, but I didn't know that that like 2 or 3 of you are not in the country. So I'm going to change the presentation, right? Obviously, it's going to be in campus for those who can come. And if you cannot come, please tell Mr. Peña. One of you did it. I don't remember who. I think it was Giovanni. Was Giovanni? Let's say, is there any Giovanni in the class? Okay, someone, and texted Mr. Peña. So Mr. Peña has to tell me that, that there is no problem, right? So I know because of what I hear, some of you are not in the country. So we are going to have this class, and I just want to ask you, because I haven't been to campus, let's say, I haven't been there like for more than 2 years. Is there any Ethernet port, I mean, Ethernet cable in each classroom, or internet cable in the classrooms? So in those cases, you need to ask for permission, Edwin, to Mr. Peña. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you cannot make it, if you cannot make it to campus, you need to talk to Mr. Peña. Yeah. So I'm telling you, if there is someone who cannot make it to campus, because remember, on the 17th and the last Sunday of classes, we are going to have presentations, right? And that's evaluated, right? So, and we're going to have some other activities, right? So if you cannot make it, talk to Mr. Peña, and he's going to let me know. Okay, so that's what I was telling you. As I was telling you, on the 17th, we're having a presentation, right? On Monday, next Monday, remember, the Monday that we are going to have to replace next Sunday, that's going to be online. Okay, we have a schedule that, remember, we have already scheduled. You know, according to the last class, I shared with you the calendar, right? And also I shared with you the PowerPoint presentation for you to see it. So, I mean, you already knew. So this is my point. With the presentation, we are going to have individual presentations, not a group presentation. So I'm going to change it because I was expecting everybody to be on the 17th. And also, obviously, the last one, yeah, it has to be individual. That's individual too. But if you remember, on the 17th, I said group presentation, but it's not going to be group, but it's going to be individual. Okay. And this is going to be the thing. What the activity that we're going to develop today is impromptu speaking. So we're going to have an impromptu speaking today, and that's going to be the activity that we are going to develop on the 17th. Got it? So with impromptu speaking, what we are going to do, because it's individual, the ones who will be in Campus Univo can do it, and those who will be in the house can do it as well. The only thing, as I asked you, is I want to know if how the internet connection is working in campus there at Univo.
You can use both. I think there is like an Ethernet connection, and also there is a Wi-Fi connection.
Okay. Obviously, the cable works better, right?
If you're lucky, yes.
What do you mean, like, if you are lucky?
Because sometimes that is messed up, like messed up, really messed up.
Okay, so that will be an issue for the ones who are who won't be able to attend face to face. So, okay, good, but it is what it is, right?
If you put it in a good way, maybe you can ask for the lab practice, I mean, classroom, because that is, you know, I think it has a better internet connection lately because they fix it up, like they load it up.
Okay, okay, good. Good. Okay, thanks for the heads up. So I'm gonna ask Mr. Peña then, if he answers. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him. Okay, so you know, on the 17th we're going to have individual impromptu speaking presentations. So we're going to develop. We're going to touch that today. Okay, so that's the activity. So remember, next Sunday we are not going to have classes. So instead we are. I'm sorry. So instead, I'm messing with the dates. So instead, we're going to meet on the 18th, right? So the 18th. And the presentation, I said 17, but it's the 24th. On the 24th, we're going to meet in campus, okay? So for those who can do it, right? Yeah. So for those who can make it.
Could you repeat that one more time, please?
Okay, yeah, it's just because I was not taking a look at the calendar, but right now I'm taking a look at the calendar. So we are going to, yeah, I'm sorry. I was not taking a look at the calendar and I'm doing it right now. So next Sunday, the 10th, no class because it's Semana Santa, right? Instead, that class is going to be on Monday, the 18th. Okay, on Monday, the 18th. That's the day we're going to have a class online. That is online because it's going to be at night, right? From 6 to 8:30, something like that. So you can receive the class while having dinner. So on Monday, the 18th, the class is from 6 to 8:30. Got it? Also, on the 24th, we are going to have presentations. And the presentation is going to be impromptu speaking presentation. For those who are not familiarized with impromptu speaking, we are going to have an activity today related to that. And we're going to learn how to develop this type of activities in a better way, right? So on the 24th is going to be an impromptu speaking presentation. Got it. And it's going to be individual. It's not going to be in groups because of the issue that I was telling you. Originally, you know, I said that it's going to be in groups but because I can, my perception is that some of you won't be able to attend campus, so that's why we're going to fix it to individual presentations. Okay, it's because when I asked Mr. Peña, he said that you must go, and he was very uh, strict when I said everybody has to go to campus when we have campus face-to-face classes. Yeah, he said that, and he emphasized a lot. But I can see that, I mean, some of you will have issues, so let's change it. Yes, April 10th, that is next Sunday. We are not going to make it because, as I said, I won't be in the country, and I don't really know. I don't want to take that risk to tell you, we're going to have classes. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to be, if the place where I'm going to be has internet or, everything, to have that class well developed. So I don't know. So that's why I better not do that. And the 17th, we are going to have off too, because it's Semana Santa. So you're going to have 2 Sundays off. But that doesn't mean that you are not going to work. Okay? So today, and I'm gonna start talking. I'm gonna be we spent 30 minutes of our life talking about this. We're going to have basically one speaking activity, and I'm going to give you some insights about what we are going to do. Just let me share my screen. Okay, I just did something that I shouldn't have done. Okay. Optimize. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So right now you are checking my presentation. Hopefully we are going to be in the class like around 2 hours from now on, 2 hours. So I'm expecting to finish a little bit earlier, not like last week that we finished almost noon. So we're going to finish a little bit before, because we're going to develop some other activities for this week. But first of all, we're going to focus on small talkings. So there you have the information. So almost, well, I think everybody of you, I may say all of us, have developed impromptu speaking presentations, which is the teacher assigns a topic or a situation at the moment. You may have some time to write down some notes, to look for vocabulary, etc., and then develop your speaking. In this case, we're going to focus in small talkings. It's not like long lectures, right? But for the presentation that we are going to have on the, let's say, 18th, you're going to have, it was going to be longer. You're going to have more time to prepare. And then you're going to present in front of the class. Right now, we're going to do it virtually only because some of the components for this module is that you can also get ready for taking the speaking section of the TOEFL test for the IVT. So the things that we're going to study today related to this have been adapted from some ideas that I have gotten while teaching TOEFL courses. right? So, and if you have ever taken a TOEFL preparation course, you may be familiarized that for the IVT test, you need to give short talkings, right? So we are going to focus on that today, which is an impromptu speaking activity, but it's a mini talk, right? So we're going to have a speaking assessment exercise. That's what I was telling you. We're going to record ourselves. That's why my suggestion is, even though you're going to be here in Zoom, there will be 3 times that we are going to use another tab. So make sure that you have your microphone ready to record audios. Also, to have your an email account, because I'm gonna share a Google Docs document. Got it? And also we are going to have another activity in Nearpad that is related to the speaking assessment exercise. So we're going to be participating in the first section of the class. You are going to be participating. And then we're going to learn the basics on how to develop small talkings, which is very related to it's going to be like a speaking feedback section when we're going to review some of these components. Then we're going to watch a video and we're going to have a discussion on this short video, where a professor is sharing some ideas on how to learn vocabulary to be more fluent. In this case, the video will show us different ways to learn more vocabulary. This can be applied for speaking and also for written, right? Then we're going to talk a little bit about the presentation that I shared with you in Campus Univo that was related to research instruments. Because if you pay attention, if you remember the explanation that I gave you last week, for this Friday, you need to submit a draft of your research instruments. So that's what I posted, the document in Campus Univo. It's already there, because we are going to have a discussion, and then I'm going to help you a little bit on explaining the different components or how to create a research instrument, because you need to present a draft for this coming Friday, okay? And during the holidays or during those days, I'm going to give you feedback, because you're going to have like around 3 weeks in which you are going to administer your instruments. So I need to check them first. That's why it was important that you read the presentation that I shared with you, because we're going to have a discussion on that. And if we have time, we are going to touch something about English for call center. And as I heard, some of you are working on that. Probably a couple of you are working on this. And this is something that Mr. Peña asked me to do too, to share with you some ideas about call center. As I said, some of you work on that, so you may have some experience on this. I'm just gonna give some ideas to those who have never experienced what working in a call center is. Okay, so, and as I said, I know it's a lot of information, but we're going to try to do it quickly, right? Yeah, people from San Miguel are very active, so I know we're going to cover everything like around before 11. Got it? Okay, good. So we're going to have an assessment activity. So this activity will help us know or probably evaluate a little bit on how we are doing in this beautiful ability and this beautiful skill. As I said, there is nothing better then put it into practice what we know into a specific content. For some of you that have had experiences probably talking to Americans or any other person who speaks English fluently, you may have identified and you feel, that in your heart that everything that you have studied so far is been worthy, right? For example, every time I talk to my American friends, I said, "Wow, I'm happy that I'm able to communicate, and then they can give me some feedback." Or my students always come to me saying, "Hey, I traveled, and I was over there, and everything was cool. I talked to Americans, and it's cool, to know that the skill that it's more put into practice is something that you get, that you are familiarized with, right? So that self-satisfaction of being able to communicate orally has no price, right? The only price is the one that you paid off before while studying, while getting vocabulary, all those nights probably that you were learning slangs and idioms. It's just the best reward that you can get. But that is normal communication, right? But what happens if you are assigned a topic and you need to develop a topic that probably you do not have too much background about? And this is what we're going to focus over here in this session. As I said, all of these have been ideas that I have taken from the TOEFL IBT test, specifically in the speaking section. So the only thing is that I have adapted those exercises in a way that we can work virtually, right? So the first thing that we are going to do is to visit this website called Vocaroo. Okay, so Vocaroo is this website that you can record audio. Okay, so I hope that you're watching my screen, and you are having some issues, please let me know. Vocaroo is a very simple interface that you can use to record audios. It's this simple. Okay, so Vocaroo basically helps any person who wants to record a short audio to do it easily. You only have these two settings: remove background noise and auto adjust volume. And you can also upload an audio. So what I want to do, and I hope that you have already opened your internet browser, and you are going to do this. You're going to record two audios, but I'm going to let you know what type of audios. First thing you need to press here, Vocaroo wants to use your microphone, so you will grant permission, and then you are recording. So you are going to do this while you will be assigned a topic or a situation, and then you need to record. Okay, and then you will be speaking, and then you see the red light is flashing, and then you can stop it, or you can pause it, or you can stop it. Then I'm gonna stop it, and I can listen to myself. Grant permission, and then you are recording. So you are going to do this. So the audio is over there, and then you're gonna click here where it says share or download. But instead of downloading, you are going to copy the link. Got it? And then I'm going to share with you this document in the chat. Everybody has a space in a document that I have created. For example, it says Kristen. Okay, Kristen is going to have, it says 1 and 2. So Kristen is going to paste the link. Got it? Kristen is going to paste the link that from Vocaroo. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, right now, remember, you don't need to paste anything. You're going to paste over there the Vocaroo, link. Just let me, okay, I have to stop share, right? Because I cannot. Okay, so to everybody in the chat. Okay, so over there, I have already shared with you the Google Docs document. Okay, so over there, what you're going to do is to paste the Vocaroo links. Does it make sense what we are going to do?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, good. So let's recap. First thing, I'm going to present a slide, and then I'm going to give you a specific time to do this. Then you're going to open which website? What's the name of the website?
Vocaroo.
Vocaroo. Vocaroo. Good. So have you used Vocaroo before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you are familiar. That's cool. So you're going to record yourself, and then you are going to paste the link into the document that I just shared with you in the chat. Perfect. Good. Now, let's talk about prep time. So over there, as you can see, I granted the permission so everybody can see it. So I'm going to erase this from Kristen. And then you're going to paste the links in this document. Now, if we pay attention to the presentation, and I'm going to give you some instructions about the activity. You are going to have, and I want you to be very careful with this activity, because everything is going to be timed up. Got it? It's going to be timed up. So I'm going to check over here with my phone. I was trying to do it with a timer in here, but I just simply don't have enough time. Let's see if I were with a timer. The thing is that you will be recording, and I don't want to make any noise. So you're going to have one minute to record an audio, right? So you are going to have 30 seconds for prep. Right now, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. It's up to you how you're going to prepare yourself. Got it? Then you're going to go to Vocaroo, and you're going to record a 1 minute audio based on the topic that you will see in the screen. So you will see a PowerPoint slide. You're going to read it, or then you're going to go to Vocaroo. 30 seconds, you brainstorm, and then you record. So when the time is over, I'm going to let you know, and you are going to paste the link in the Google Docs folder, document. So we're going to do this twice. Okay, we're going to do this twice. Are you ready?
Nope. But
No, no, but anyways, no, but anyways. Okay, I hope that you are ready, right? So I need to have your document with the links. Okay, just a couple of things. Nobody is going to listen to your audio. I will be the only one Okay, so I'm demanding the rest of the class first not to go to the space that hasn't been assigned to you. Okay, respect your space. That's why the document has names, right? All of you are over there. Okay, according to the persons who are in the platform. I took the names from the platform. Okay, so respect your space and do not get links from your classmates, right? Ay, voy a oír como, no, I mean, it's just yourself, okay? So let's be careful with this. Then we're going to do another activity with the links, but do not change anything, just your space, okay? So I hope you're ready. Remember, 30 seconds to brainstorm, and then you're going to have 1 minute to record yourself in the audio. I'm gonna ask Alejandra to read the slide. Okay, Alejandra, you there? Alejandra?
She's gone.
She's gone?
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. She might
Oh, she's over there. Okay, Alejandra, please read the slide.
Okay. Speaking 1, describe changes in technology that have affected your life and explain what effects they have had on you as a student. Include details and examples to support your explanation.
Okay, so right now it's 8:55. Let's say you have 2 minutes. Brainstorm, record, and share the video, the audio in the Google Docs document. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to do this. Just make sure when you are recording the audio to mute yourselves over here in Zoom, okay? Time is over, everybody. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Edwin. Okay, good. So let's see. We should have your links over here. Okay. So we should have one link. So everybody posting the links. We don't have much time.
I'm trying to do it right now, but I have problems with it. But I'm looking for the document right now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the document is open to edit for everybody. Okay. So you shouldn't have any problem. So I'm gonna paste it again. There you have it in the chat. Yeah. So in this case, we need to do this fast. Well, I think that everybody's names is in the document.
Maybe everybody's just having issues because it's the first time like putting these. I think everybody, as soon as we learn the drill, we're gonna make it better.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but as I said, I think that you have used this tool before because I asked you, and then you said that yeah, you use it. I mean, it's easy too. I mean, Boca is really easy to use. I usually use this a lot with my students from different courses. It's so simple to use. You cannot copy the link, Hilda. Let's say. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen with you. So normally when you finish recording yourself, just stop it here, save and share, and then you get the link. You can't? Okay, keep trying. Okay, keep trying.
Could you please share the link again because I cannot see it. I don't know why.
The link for the document.
Yes, please.
Okay, sure. There you have it.
Thank you.
In the chat. You're welcome. Good. I think that everybody's working on that. How funny it is, when you enter into a document and the document has like different names: Anonymous Orange, Anonymous Beaver, Anonymous Camel, Anonymous Cormorant, Anonymous Coyote. So you get like a name from an animal. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I mean, it's just find it really hilarious. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Hilda. Yeah, if that works for you, I mean that's cool. That's cool. Sapo Anonimo. Yeah, it's funny. How you get a name from an animal. Okay, so then we have the first one. So I think we are almost done. Almost everybody has it. Perfect.
In my case,
Tell me.
Flores, I have an issue because I have to try. I tried to launch the Buckaroo website in the three browsers that I have right here: Explorer, Chrome, Opera, and none of them seems to be working because it is not allowing me to get access to the website of Buckaroo. I tried to like open it in different ways, but I mean, from my computer, it's not allowing me to get access to to record the audio.
That's weird.
Yes, I think that maybe the website is blocked, but I don't think. Well, if it is blocked, that should be just in one browser, but it's in the three of them. So
I don't know.
It's something probably from your computer, right? Okay. So let me, okay, anyways, we are not going to spend too much time on this. Probably you can,
Get
yeah,
a link
maybe,
on
yeah.
from my cell phone. I will do that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So we're going to move into the second one. If you were not able to do it with the first one, probably you can do it with the second one, and it's going to be the same exercise. So the second one is just, let's say that the first one would be something like warming up, but the second one is going to be kind of similar. So if you do not have access, probably you can do it from your phone, not necessarily from your computer. The third person is the previous teacher, so may want to delete her name. Yeah, just as I said, make sure to write to type or to paste the link in your exact place. Okay, so we're going to have the second activity, the second speaking activity, and I'm gonna read it for you. So speaking number 2, what kind of friend is better? One who is similar to you or one who is different? Which kind of friend do you prefer and why? Include details and examples in your explanation. We're going to do the same. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to brainstorm, record the audio for 1 minute, and to paste the link. Okay? So you can start right now. Okay, time is over. Good. So time is over. I hope that you recorded. Remember, it's just one recording, right? You don't need to record twice. It has to be natural. So it should be once, right? It should have been once. So everybody right now going to the Google Docs document and paste the new link for your second recording.
Well, I was about to tell you my whole life, and you start like with that sound. Pay attention to that at the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just have 1 minute, right? It's just 1 minute. So I'm sorry. I know it's just speaking is
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah, and speaking obviously has this. If you are not good at speaking, you do not. I mean, you have enough time. But if you like to speak a lot, time is not enough. So
I made at least like for 5 or 6 points. I just talked about one.
okay. So that's what we're going to be talking. That's what we're going to have like a wrap up right now about this activity. But I need you to write your email. I don't know. I need you to write or to share the links, right, to your to the document. Nice. So Edwin has both. David has both. Natalie has both too. Kristen too. Ana Yancy too. Alejandra too. Nixon too. Larissa has one. At least try to have only one. Okay? Try to have only one. Okay, perfect. Sure. Again, I'm sharing with you the document in case that you had a problem. In case you have a problem that you went out. Yeah, I know sometimes it's better, to leave the session and then come back. If probably you were in a that you were using your phone. Okay, perfect. At least try to get one. Also, this keeps track of how you're doing in the class. I can share this with Mr. Peña and tell him how participative the students are. Okay. So let me check in the chat if you were okay, because I can see that, for example, Kenya. Is Kenya in the class today? Kenya is not here. Catherine Daniela. Giovanni, your name is not here, Giovanni? My first recording was a disaster.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry?
But your name is there, Giovanni. Oh yeah, it's over there. Okay, you're typing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's finish this. And that's something, and I'm glad that 17479. Who is 17479? That's what we have over here in the chat. 17479 Rod. Okay, Alejandra. Okay, you're fine. It's just because we have only the name. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm glad that Alejandra wrote this. My first recording was a disaster. I don't really know if you were talking about technical issues or your performance in speaking, but that's something that we are going to be talking. Okay. So Anonymous Ibex is writing. Okay, thank you, Brenda. So we're still waiting for Giovanni. Kayla, what happened, Kayla? I don't see any link. Okay, your cousin was crying, your internet was dying. I know. I know. When you're at home, that's a disadvantage. Yeah, that's a disadvantage. So, okay. So this is a very quick activity that is timed, that may get some pressure, right? Remember, when we have different types of speaking activities, you need to deal with different aspects, external aspects, right? Obviously, right now you were in your house, and obviously there are some other external factors that probably hindered a little bit your participation or your performance in this activity. And that's completely acceptable. This was just a practice. But at the moment, for example, when we're going to get to the actual evaluation, that's why it's good. And my recommendation is, if you can go to campus, do it, because then you're going to be focused only in developing these activities, right? As I said, the next evaluation is going to be something like this. Got it? But I'm going to try to help you today or we're going to learn together, because this is more like put it into practice, some of the things that you know that may be helping, that may help others. And then I'm going to give some tips too. So this was the speaking number 2. And that was the last one. There's no more because of time. But I'm going to share with you a link where you're going to find different questions based on this activity. So the answers from this activity, I'm going to use Nearpad for this, because we're going to develop a couple of activities here in Nearpad. Have you used Nearpad before, guys? Have you used Nearpad before?
Nothing so.
No.
No? No, you haven't? Okay. So Nearpad is a website where you can create presentations, right? But with Nearpad, we have more active participation. You can, for example, make quizzes, and the quizzes are going to appear in the screen. You can also develop some other types of activities, for example, drawing activities, fill in the blanks, and the activities are being developed at the moment when the instructor is teaching the class. So right now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share with you the link of the Nearpad in the chat. Got it? So the only thing that you are going to be required is to write a name. Only that. You're going to log in only by writing your name. Okay? That's the only thing. And try to focus. Don't close this window, please. Don't close Zoom, because you need to listen to me. But there will be a time that you're going to be developing 2 exercises. So you're going to have like a quiz, and the quiz you need to develop based on the previous activity. Okay? Based on the previous activity. So there you have the Nearpad. So right now we have 2 persons. We have Hilda and Natalie. The link is over there. It's in the chat, okay? So make sure that you check the chat. Make sure that you check the chat. Over there is the link. And we're going to have...
I think I'm having an issue because it's not letting me to log in, I'm sorry. And it says I'm younger than 13 years old, which is cool, but not true.
Yeah, you're older, right? But that's weird. That's the first time I see that message. Okay, just try to log in with this because we're going to have a like a reflection type of activity, and I would like most of you to be there. Okay. So we have 6 people already. We have 8.
Sorry, I wasn't here.
Fine.
What are we going to do?
We are going to go to. You need to follow this link. Take a look at the chat. So over there, I would like you to log in because we're going to have an activity. Okay, so log in over there. Check the chat. We're going to use this application called Nearpad. So we already have 10, and we are, okay, we are 14. Okay, 11. I need one more person. Master Chief. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's nice. Okay, 13. Okay, we have 13. Okay, so for this activity, the following activity that we're going to do right now basically is a short quiz to evaluate yourself according to the activity that we just did, with the speaking activity. So this is a self-assessment. I want you to put your real insight about how you felt, and then you're going to find some questions. For example, my vocabulary was adequate according to the presentation, for example, or the time was enough. Okay, things like those. It says, for example, the organization was correct, or something like that. So with the self-assessment, you're going to have different options. 5 is going to be the highest performance point for you, and 1 is going to be the lowest. Okay, so you're going to have 3 minutes to finish up with the quiz. Okay, got it? So you can navigate. You just let me know if you have any issue with this. The first one is related about pronunciation, right? And you can start right now. There are 15 issues, 15 questions, the ones that you need to reply. Okay, so you are only going to check the screen of. You're going to be listening to me only. Okay, so you have.
I have a question. 5 is the highest score, right?
Yeah, 5 is the highest. 5 is the highest. Like you did perfectly. You were very comfortable. Okay, almost everybody has finished. Okay, perfect. So everybody has finished. And cool. Thanks for answering the questions. This was more about you, about some aspects related to to um, to your performance, right? So probably you got incorrect question. It says is I don't know if you got incorrect questions, but some of you have different perspectives about the different issues in language, right? So this was more like a self-evaluation. I'm not going to share the results. It was just for you to have some time to reflect on this. Obviously, as I said, there were some other aspects in language that probably interfered a lot, but because of external factors. I don't know. Alejandra was saying somebody was crying in the house, so that brought some pressure that you had to record. So, and it's, I mean, it's something different. Yeah, I know. It says you answered them all, but it says 0 out of 15. But because the type of questions, I didn't specify any correct question because there is no correct question, right? This was just for you to evaluate from 1 to 5. So there is no correct question. Okay, there is no correct answer. Sorry. So that's why. So what I want you to do too, if you have the chance later after the class, you can get you can go back to the document that I shared with you and listen to you again. One of the tips or something that I would like to share with you related to this is if you record yourself, it's going to be easier for you to identify which aspects of language you need to improve. So go back to the document, take a look at your links and evaluate yourself, right? Now we're going to move to the next activity. And in this activity, we're going to share some thoughts. Got it? So for those who have used Padlet before, Nearpad, and I'm teaching also technology, right? It's not only just, speaking aspects, it's also some technology too. So Nearpad also allows you to have like a Padlet where you can write your comments. You can add in the text, or you can also record your answer with a microphone, right? So you can upload an audio too. So I want you to share the thoughts with you with the rest of the class. So what are your thoughts about this activity? What can you do to improve your impromptu speaking? Because that's what we did right now. I gave you some prep time. You recorded yourself. How can you improve this? What do you think after that reflection that says, I think I should have done this, or I think I should have done the other one? Do you have any specific tip to develop this activity? Okay, so I want you to work on this, share it with the rest of the class through this activity, and make sure that you write something. Your idea can help someone. Okay, so let's work on this. Do you think the activity was okay? Do you think it was challenging? That would be some ideas,
We
right?
have to go to our links and then listen to our audios and give our comments about ourselves, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same link. Are you watching this screen right now in Nearpod?
Yeah, but I
Oh.
cannot access.
Okay, yes, you can see it, right? So you're going to write your comments over there. Just take a look at, try to listen to yourself to the audio, and then you see, oh, I think I should have done this. I think I need to pay more attention to pronunciation, for example, or things like those. Okay, so please share with the class after you listen to yourself from the audio. You know, some thoughts, some conclusions about the speaking activity. So once that you have that reflection, please write it over here in Nearpad. Yeah, you can send an audio with the comment, or you can just type. Okay. Okay, we have the first one. And when I read this, I'm gonna hide your names, so it can be more private, because you know these are thoughts in general, right? So
And you put it as soon as everybody saw my name.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes I don't think that you feel like uncomfortable that your name was there. So I'm just hiding them, right? I'm sorry. I'm just.
It's okay, Lick.
I'm sorry. So we have two. We have two thoughts. Also, if you want to share, I don't know, any tip, you can do it. Something that worked for you as well. So you can say, oh, you know, something that worked for me was, I don't know, to write some thoughts in a piece of paper, for example. So if you think that worked for you, you can include it over here. If you think that you could have done something differently, now that the activity was over, you can share it with the class too. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Remember, if something worked for you, you can share it with the class too. The problem that we sometimes have as students, as professionals, is when something works for us, sometimes we don't share it with the people, right? And that shouldn't be like that, right? I think part of our culture and society is that we are very selfish, right? sharing with someone may help, right? Also, as you can see in Nearpad, and specifically in this Padlet, if you like a comment, you can give a heart, right? You can like the comment, right? Or you cannot send your answer. Why, Alejandra? What happens? Oh, probably it's because the limit of words is 240. So probably you can split it into two because it has a limit for words, 250, okay? That's why you can only have 250 words. So that's what I said. You can make a post and probably you can write another one. Okay, so if you like someone else's, I'm gonna like all, because it's your thoughts and I like it when students participate. So I'm gonna give a like to everybody. So let's check some of your thoughts. The first one that appeared was this kind of activities help students because allows them to practice, and this practice is only for a couple of seconds. If we take into account that some students feel nervous, it gives them a little bit of confidence of themselves. Yeah, very good. Something that this comment says, and I love it, is probably the biggest problem when speaking is confidence, right? How do you get confidence? And I know many teachers say practice, 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 but there are ways to practice by your own, and that makes you feel more confident, like this type of activities. Record yourself and then listen to yourself, right? If you can do it in group, like we just did, it may increase a little bit of anxiety, as some of you have mentioned, right? This activity helps us to brush up on your speaking skill and organize our ideas quickly, since we don't have a lot of time to do this task, and it allows to show us naturally. Perfect. And that's something that I mentioned too, like speaking naturally can give you a lot of power, right? A lot of power. I'm gonna leave a like to the latest post. So here we have this one, improve speaking. There is no better way than do it, practice with different people. Yeah, different ways, recognizing the mistakes we make it and being aware that we must improve, will help increase the skill. Yeah, practice. That it was an interesting way of practicing our speaking skills, and it was challenging because of the time, pasting the link and all that stuff. Okay, I'm glad you liked it. I think I should be faster. I really appreciate these type of comments and all of the comments in general, but I'm also looking forward to reading, what you should do, right, to improve, right? Because the point of self-reflection is not only to say, oh, I should be, I really like the activity, but that's okay. But like the self-assessment and also self-evaluation means like, what can I do to make this better, right? Like this comment, I think I should be faster when picking the ideas because it takes me some time to start thinking, but it was fun. I feel I did better the second time, obviously because you had more practice, right? Challenging background noise, I know it created some anxiety. I felt did not help at all. I liked it. It's a way to practice. We had a short time to do it, but that also helps us to speak and lose the fear to do it. Good. I think this activity made me realize that I have to work or improve on ordering my ideas. That's something that we are going to be talking in a couple of minutes. and I'm glad that you mentioned it, to express my thoughts in a clearer way. It was really good activity. We had to be and think really fast. In my case, I was nervous because there was a disaster at home. Also, I was getting ready to go to my work. I know some of you are busy. I know some of you are in your house, but I know you're busy. But okay, let's try to do the best we can. And I'm glad that you tried to be faster and think. I heard my audio already. And what we can do is to focus on filters and connectors that are important to have a clear idea of the message that we pretend to give. Good, nice, good. It's also self-reflection too. Some of you touched something about it being faster. And that's something that, I mean, I really like that you bring this point, because that's something that we have some issues, right? I like this type of activity because they help students monitor their advances in their second language. Good. You're able to use the phrases or vocabulary they have learned and listen to themselves to further improve their speaking activity. Good. I consider that this activity helps us to practice on our speaking skill, and it's a challenge because of the time is short, structure well, how to connect ideas, also advance to losing the fear when we are talking. Nice. Losing the fear, that's what I was telling you, something we have to work. We need to practice and improve our speaking skills. This type of activity is very helpful, and working under pressure, good. This time we talk about time. It can be very good to show the best of us. Nice. I mean, I really love this, the last thing that you share. The only way that we can do better in any, not only speaking, you know, it's in general in our life, it's to challenge ourselves. Got it? That's the only way that we can improve in anything in life, not only in speaking. And that's something that we have to learn every single day. You know, it's something that I'm trying to learn every day. The only way that I can show the best of me is by challenging myself, not to be like someone, not to beat someone, not to show up, not to show off. It's just because I need to improve. Good. And thanks for sharing. There are some things that I want to take from what you wrote. The purpose of asking you or to take the quiz is to bring some points that probably you didn't think when you were developing the speaking activity. Got it? So I'm going to close this website, but just I leave this for you as a homework as teachers. Take a look at Nearpad. Nearpad has different activities. As I said, you can have fill in the blank exercises. You can show this like Padlet. Students can work. Also, you can show slides. You can show videos. You can play a game that is to climb a mountain, and the students are solving questions, and the one that reaches to the top wins. So there is a game. Also, you can insert audios. You can record yourself in this presentation, and all of these can have two options to do it. You can do it simultaneously, like the way that we were doing, or it can be done self-paced, that you create a presentation and then you share it with your students. Okay? So this is Nearpad. It's a really nice tool. The only inconvenience is that you can only have 5 projects open simultaneously. But I think that's enough, right? If we create a class, we can recycle and probably use it any other time. Got it? So let's bring some. Let's go to here. So which were some aspects related to speaking that I asked you in the quiz? Can someone tell me a couple of things? Things that I asked in the quiz.
Combinations like if we can pronounce consonants, I think, and also I don't remember.
Okay, pronunciation, consonants, and vowels, right? Okay,
I
good.
remember,
Yep.
I remember that you asked if we use advanced vocabulary when speaking.
Okay, if you use advanced vocabulary, good.
Coherence and connection in between ideas.
Okay, coherence and connection between ideas, good, nice. Any other point?
Also mention the speed.
The speed, nice. The speed, nice. If you were speaking not too fast or not too slow, right? Good. Any other thing that you would like to add from the quiz? No?
I remember that
Mhm.
you asked if we felt comfortable during speaking.
Okay, yeah, if you were comfortable in terms of time and also in terms of your performance, right? Obviously, some of you said that you were a little bit anxious. So there are many things. So particularly, and I'm going to share with you, let's see if this works. Yeah, I'm going to use a whiteboard. So this is the first time I'm using a whiteboard. So, so normally, but I'm gonna, okay, good. So normally, when we are working on an impromptu speech, or in this case, if you're going to take the TOEFL IBT test, you're going to have the speaking section, which also part of the syllabus when this class was designed basically was to develop speaking skills to take the test, but we can adapt it. So in this case, in one of the questions that I asked you it was related to the questions or the keywords. Normally, when we are developing speaking, we need to follow the keywords or the questions. The questions tell us the keywords, right? So in this case, what we need to pay attention to is to these questions and keywords. For example, the one was related to technology, right? So the first one was related to technology. And this is something, what I'm doing right now is something that we can do to order our ideas. So the question was related to technology and keywords. So the first one, obviously I'm doing it with time. At the time of your mini recording, you didn't have the time that I'm gonna have. But you can do this quickly. I'm explaining that's what I'm taking more time. What was another keyword from the first speaking? The first one was technology. What was the other one? Another word that you remember? Yeah, friend was the second one. Yep. Yeah, for the second one we have friend. I'm gonna write over here. Friend. Yep. Just to make the distinctions of the two speakings. So the first one was related to technology, the second one to friend. Now, what other word was related with the first one? If you remember.
How this affect us?
Okay, good. Effect or affect. Okay. Affect. or effect? I mean, it can be both.
I said, yeah, both.
I mean, affect or effect? I mean, both. Okay. Changes.
Change.
Okay. Good. Nice. Thank you, Giovanni. And I don't know who spoke because I'm just listening. So the other one was change. Right. So the other one was change. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do when we are assigned to have like a mini lecture or presentation, that's from this. Okay, is to take a look at the keywords. Okay, so technology. So technology, in this case, how does it affect or how does it have an effect? Does it have a positive or negative effect? Let's say from what you talked about.
Positive.
Positive. Okay, so you can have positive. Okay, so you can have positive. And then obviously I'm doing this if you obviously you have more time in your house, you can make this better, right? I'm just showing this like to organize our thoughts. So we can have technology affect or has positive aspects. So effects as students. Okay, perfect. So this is a new factor that we can bring to this. So technology affects or has positive effects, and obviously this one changes, right, as students. So what we do normally when we make talkings or when we deliver speaking, we try to brainstorm. That's why at the beginning of the activity, I told you have 30 seconds to brainstorm. So normally this is what you need to think, and you are not, and that's something that I mentioned last class too. When you are giving a speech, or you are speaking in professional terms, you are not going to invent, right? So in this particular case, we have this. We need to set up the keywords, and the keywords are based on the questions. That's why I wrote over here, questions, keywords. And then we can have technology. How does it affect or the different effects? Changes and students. So all of these words are related, and this can be positive. Now, if we think about a teacher, okay, we are talking about students right now. Now, and this is when we are thinking about, okay, we have effects, we have positive aspects as a student, and then I can brainstorm quickly what can be some changes or how these positive changes affect my life as a student, right? So let's do this all together. Changes. Someone would like to help me with this?
Can you repeat that again, please?
So we're talking about students in positive changes, which would be some details, some examples.
Interaction. Like
Interaction.
more interactive classes, more interactive evaluation.
Okay, interaction. So we can talk about interaction classes. And what was the other thing that you said?
More interactive activities or evaluations.
Evaluations, perfect. Classes and evaluations, good. So we can have interaction, classes, and evaluations. What else? Someone wrote something in the chat. It makes our life easier. Good, thank you. Yep, Easy Life. Okay, Easy Life. So, but with Easy Life, what would be an example? Because it says over here, interaction, an example is interaction in the classes and interaction in the evaluation. So the word is interaction and the example or the detail is classes and evaluation. So when we're talking about Easy Life, what we think is record almost everything. Okay. So we have Easy Life recordings. What else? Technology has a positive aspect. Easy Life recordings, access to information. Okay. So info accessibility. Another thing, and while I was reading a little bit about this, and this is something that I have put into practice too. When you brainstorm, you can have abbreviations, right? When you are brainstorming. For example, I can use some abbreviations over here. For example, with student, as you know, I think I cannot edit. Okay. As you know, a student can be abbreviated as SS, right? Also, technology, if I want to abbreviate it, I can put only this. I'm familiarized with the topic, so I already know. So for example, over here, when it says positive, I can use a symbol, right? So as you know, we all can have abbreviations or symbols to save time, right? Also, with interaction, I don't know, you can have only like this, interact, classes. I mean, you can evaluations. I mean, you can just go like this, evaluations, recordings, info access, Easy Life. So you can use abbreviations, or anything that helps you. I mean, analyze the information quickly or to write fast. What can be another positive aspect of using technology as students? Any other point related to this? No? Okay. We can have an impromptu speech, very with foundations over here from what we have. So we have technology is positive, has positive aspects, or it affects positively, or has positive effects in students, and it has changed our lives. So there are two different types of interactions, right? We can talk about the type of interaction between the classes, and in the classes you can have teacher, student, 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 and that's something that you can add over here too, right? Interaction. So you can write over here, teacher, teacher, student, I'm sorry, teacher, student, or student, students. So in my brainstorming, I can talk a little bit about this. In evaluations, So I can do this. If obviously you have more time. So teacher, students, 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 and evaluations, you can also, for example, say platforms. Or the abbreviation is LMS. LMS is the abbreviation of platforms or learning management systems. Good. So brainstorming quickly, easy life, recordings, you can say recordings, audios, or videos, right? Info access, websites, and cell phones. Okay, cell phones. Nice. So over here, you know, as I said, this brainstorming, you can do it quickly. You only need to think. You know, thinking, you can think in Spanish or you can speak in English. Obviously, if you are trying to develop speaking, you need to think in English, right? And many professors or many teachers have told you to do that. So with all this, I can even speak like for 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes for this evaluation. If it is an evaluation, I mean, thinking ahead of your evaluation. So technology has positive aspects, and now you can just give like an introduction, right? This is something that we studied last class, that remember that we can, in any type of speaking activity, you need an intro, a body, and a conclusion, right? So keep that in mind from what we learned last class. Intro, body, supporting ideas, examples, details that are the ones that we are talking about right now, and a conclusion that summarizes basically what we have talked about. Remember, the intro can be like, for example, examples, something quickly, a story, etc. For example, right now we're talking about positive aspects about how technology is changing. For example, you can say, okay, we all know about technology, technological advances in the last couple of days, thanks to the positive aspect that coronavirus brought to our lives. Technology has been used in different manners. All of these have brought different changes, and all of these changes, particularly, I have seen them as positive aspects for students and teachers. So in this small talking, I'm going to be talking about how technology has been helping students to develop different skills. All of these changes have been in different aspects. For example, in the interaction, now teachers and students are interacting differently in their classes. Students can talk to their professors and so on. And if you have seen, this was thanks to brainstorming. So brainstorming is something important when we are developing this type of activities, right? Impromptu, not only impromptu, but also in any type of speaking, right? So this was the first. So what I'm going to do right now, I want you to brainstorm with a little bit more of time what we remember about the second speaking. I'm going to give you some time to brainstorm. I'm going to give you like a minute, and with time, I want you to do it again, but brainstorming and I don't know, writing. You can write it in a piece of paper. You can open a Word document too, and easily you can do it. So I'm going to give you, let's say 2 minutes to do this brainstorming for the second one, okay? So the second one, I'm gonna share with you my screen so you can remember, because probably you don't remember what it was about. So this is the second one, okay? This is the second one, and I'm gonna give you 2 minutes for this one. Do only the brainstorming section, what I did with the previous one, but only with the second one, okay? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
We just have to do the brainstorming, right?
Okay. Okay, perfect. So right now we have, I'm sorry, I just went to get a banana. So we were talking about this, and what I want you to do is to brainstorm. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen right now. This was just for you to have a reminder. So what I want you to do is what are some of the keywords that you got from the number 2?
Kind of.
Different, similar,
Okay, different and similar, good.
Okay, first kind of friend,
Mm-hmm.
and similar and different.
Mm-hmm.
And then the preference that we have.
Okay, so the preferences. So in this case, remember that everything is different, right? Like particularly, I don't know what type of friends you like, but I prefer friends who are not like me. So what do you think? So what's your preferences? That are like you or are different? Personally, which ones do you prefer? People like you or different?
I prefer different because I think that sharing with a person that is similar to you is bored. So the people are different to share with all people. All people are different and has different, are
Yeah.
unique. But if you have similar with another person, I think that you have to be more share more moments with
Okay.
different people. Yeah.
Okay, good. So thank you. So
Different means diversity. So if I am screwing it up with something, I'm gonna have someone who has a different point of view about it.
okay, good. Yeah, good. So Natalie said that, you know, that's something that particularly in a speech, you need to defend your point of view, right? Right. And that's something that also we need to take into consideration. Everybody thinks differently. Because Natalie says, it doesn't matter, but this person has to be empathetic and honest. So whether if it is similar or different, she needs friends with 2 requirements: being empathetic and honest. But some of you, as you have said, like Edwin said, you know, if I'm doing something wrong, imagine you have someone that thinks similar like you. This person is not going to tell you anything. That's what he said, right? So it differs. So in those cases, that's something that you should have written more in the keywords, right? Like different. Okay, you prefer different. Why different? And then you explain it, right? What else did you write in your brainstorming?
Spicy food and different flavors, more money to pay for it.
What do you mean, like more money?
Because I'm not the kind of guy who likes to pay for stuff. So who likes.
Okay, that's a different perspective, right? So I need to have friends who are different. I mean, who have more money. Okay, good.
Thanks God I do.
Okay. Or at least that are more conscious, you know, like when you are, because sometimes you can tell somebody, okay, good. So, you know, I'm gonna pay this time, you pay next time. So, I mean, you take turns to do that. So, someone else that would like to add something about the brainstorming?
Well, in my case, I consider that it is better to have friends that are different because I like learning from people. But I also consider that it is important to have to share some values, like Natalie was saying, like honesty or respect each other's ideas, even though we don't agree with them. So I think that's the most interesting part of having friends that are different and has something else to teach you.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Something else to teach you, right? Because imagine, like myself, And this is something that I want you to think of. Bring back, yes, Hilda?
Another thing that I wanted to say is that, for example, when you're struggling with something or you're going through a rough time, you need different opinions. So when you have a friend that it's different to you, they think different from that
Yeah.
than you do, then they can make you see things different and they can make you understand some other things. It's not that they are going to tell you, okay, change your mind, but they provide examples. It's a great help.
Good, good. Someone that thinks differently can bring more to your life, right? So Brenda says different is better because I think that similar is boring. And when you're different, to refer to ideas, value, and personality. Yeah, you can learn from each other. So all of this is what you need to state in your speaking. Like, you know, like these type of topics that are easy to explain, that your point of view is strong enough to convince people, right? Or to persuade people. As we learned last class, there are different types of speaking, right? One is to inform to inform or describe, and the other one is to persuade. So in this type of talkings, it can be kind of persuasive, right? And obviously, in this particular case, people have different points of view. Natalie says, someone who's going to give you an appropriate point of view, no matter if this person disagrees with the things on what you want to accomplish. In other words, to be assertive. Yes. So that's her point of view. And even in this case, like for example, if Natalie is talking about this, she can also bring the point of being assertive. And this is something that okay, I was going to explain, but I think I'm not going to have enough time. So I'm gonna post the video on YouTube that is about I'm gonna get this YouTube video to the platform. It is about a teacher who is talking about how to increase vocabulary. And what happens too is that sometimes our vocabulary is very limited, right? For example, as Natalie says, you know, being assertive. So being assertive, for example, someone who doesn't know what that is, probably may be a little bit confused. So in the video that I'm going to post, I would like you to take a look at it and get some of the main points for our next class. We're going to discuss it. We're not going to see the video today because it lasts like 15 minutes and I'm planning to finish around 11. So please take a look at the video and be ready to discuss. Got it? So in this case, going back to the small talking, the first thing is to brainstorm, right? To brainstorm. On the 18th, I just want to make sure, on the 17th, sorry. No, sorry, on the 24th. I'm just getting so confused. On the 24th, el domingo 24, we are going to have an impromptu presentation. And we are going to do exactly what we did today, but in class. Obviously, everybody is going to participate. Everybody's going to participate. And also, we're going to do the same as we did. You are going to have 1 minute, okay? You're going to have 1 minute to brainstorm, okay? 1 minute to brainstorm. And the impromptu is going to last 3 minutes. Got it? So some of the things that we have learned today about the questions in the quiz, things to pay attention, more material that I'm going to post, the video related to vocabulary that I'm going to post. So you need to take into account all of these aspects for your impromptu speech. Also, as I said, you can practice, right? Record yourself, get some points, and the topics will be assigned on that day. Okay, just like that. For example, I'm going to say, okay, David, it's your turn. So I'm going to give a piece of paper to David. David is going to read the paper, and then David is going to have 1 minute to brainstorm. Get a piece of paper, brainstorm, get the idea, main points, as we were learning today, bring in details. If I'm asking to give details or examples, be there. If I'm asking, for example, for a point of view, you need to write, for example, positive, negative, and etc. Some of the things that I have explained, for example, using abbreviations, using symbols. I'm not going to teach you all about that because sometimes we make up the abbreviations, right? And sometimes we word like the symbols that we know. So in those cases, you need to figure out how to abbreviate, how to think, how to organize your ideas and your thoughts. That's why you're going to get a piece of paper. Everybody's going to get a piece of paper. I'm going to provide a piece of paper. You just need to get a pen or a pencil, right? For the brainstorm. Got it? So that's what we're going to do. You're going to have 1 minute to brainstorm, to get ready. I'm giving you a minute. Normally for this type of activities, for example, if you're going to take the TOEFL IBT, for the speaking section, they give you only 15 seconds to brainstorm. And you need to record and you need to speak 45 seconds. So imagine yourself, you only have 15 seconds to brainstorm and 45 to speak. I'm giving you first 1 minute, first because you're going to be nervous because there will be people around you, right? And you need to calm down. So that's why it is more time, right? And also to focus. But it's going to be more time. It's going to be 3 minutes. I'm going to share with you a rubric to evaluate this impromptu speaking, right? But you know, I'm just to give you some heads up on this. Related things that we usually bring for presentations, right? Grammar, fluency, pronunciation, some things that I asked you in the quiz, right? The time, if you met the time, if you spoke naturally, things like those. So the quiz, basically asks you some things about speaking in general. So those are the ones that I'm going to take into account. Got it? So that's going to be the task. That's what I'm telling you. It cannot be in groups because I know some of you are not in the country or won't be in the country. So that's why, you know, I mean, I declined the idea on doing it in groups. Got it? So let's continue talking about this. Also, some of the things that are important when you prepare a presentation is the details, right? How can you bring details? Normally, you add details by providing examples. Also, you talked about details, for example, when you analyze the words, right? For example, we're talking about friendship. If some of you stated different ideas, what you read, what you can read in the chat, I mean, people have different points of views, right? Different is better. I want people that are similar like me. friends that are similar like me can be boring, diversity is better, similar values. So all of these keywords are details, right? Got it? So in the last point of the speaking was which kind of friends do you prefer and why? So in this case, which kind of friends do you prefer and why? The important key here is the word why. That means giving reasons. That means you need to provide explanation. That means you need to support your ideas. So everything has to be related to that, to analyze the type of question, which is something that probably we do not do. I'm going to share with you the screen again, the slide. And you are going to see some of the factors that you have been talking about. Keywords. First one is friend. The second one is better. And then we have some other two keywords, similar or different. So all of these words are the ones that you need to analyze. But the first thing in the keyword is friend. So when you give us when you give a presentation, or you sometimes need to explain concepts, right? So for example, what's a friend? What's for you a friend? Are you a friend? Then you can easily think of your friends. You can think of friends that have failed. So that was not a friend. So you can anticipate your answers, but by brainstorming concepts, right? Friend, someone who's with you. So what's a friend for you? Let's have like a conversation. What's a friend for you? Who would like to open his or her mic? Yeah.
A friend for me is someone that I can be myself with, and that is not going to judge me.
Good. Nice. I really like that one. Simple and very powerful. Have you ever had experiences having wrong friends?
Yes.
Okay, good. So can we assume that your definition can be based on experiences, right?
Exactly.
Okay, we have always had this type of people in our lives. So good. Anyone else who would like to give a definition of what a friend is? Yeah, anyone?
Well, a friend for me is someone who you can share your time.
Okay, good.
We have different type of friends, and maybe I don't know how to explain that, but you can find comfort in them whenever you are facing a difficult situation.
So friend for you is like a safe place.
Or sometimes you have friends because you want to spend time and have fun.
Okay, good. Good. So for you, in short words, a friend is a safe place.
Yeah.
A friend who you can have fun with, a friend that when you have a problem, you can talk to. Good. So you can, if you want to introduce speaking, probably you can start by questioning people. That's something that we also learned last class. When you are When you are beginning to talk, you can have different ways how to open talking, to tell us the story, as we learn, to ask people questions. So before we can go and talk a little bit about this, we need to think of what a friend is. How many friends do you have? If I ask you, think of a friend, who comes to your mind? Would it be your mother? Would it be your sister? Would it be your girlfriend? So what's a friend for you? So over here, as you could see, I can introduce my speaking like this. Why do we do it like this? First, we need an intro, and the intro brings people to your idea, and it makes more connections. So when you ask people, like in this case, as I did, so when I was talking, probably you were thinking of, who's my best friend? Do I have a best friend? Is it my mom? So probably some of you were thinking about that. So when I said, think of the word friend, who comes to your mind? That may be like a speaking, and then you say, who's coming to my mind? Okay, my puppy. Yeah, because my friends probably are not the best friends of the world, so my puppy is my friend. They are loyal, they are there with you, so whatever. But I bring the point of introducing the audience to the main topic, right? So what you are going to be talking about. And then you start explaining words from your brainstorming activity. You find connections, you say positive, negative, similar, different. Which ones do I prefer? Which kind of friend do I prefer? So when I say prefer, you can start brainstorming things like, okay, loyal, peace of mind. I don't know, like someone said, with money. I prefer people with money so they can treat me, etc. Right? And then it says include examples in your explanations. So with this one, when you provide example, you can add like keywords. For example, best friend. Let's say my girlfriend, for example. We say, why? Whenever I have a problem, she's over there, she's very supportive. I don't know, when I feel down, she tries to spoil me, she cooks for me. I don't know, whatever. You just give examples to your explanation, right? Why? Got it? So you provide examples, and sometimes it is not necessarily. So you just see kind of friend. Okay, for example, loyal. Why? And then you write example, my girlfriend, or I don't know, my mother, etc. Got it? So this is the way that we can structure this. Now, in future classes, we are going to learn, for example, how to speak in public, right? That's another skill that you need to develop. So, but in this case that we are going to do it, the next presentation that we are going to do impromptu, we're going to focus only on these aspects. Got it? Good. So I hope that you are taking notes, that you are learning a little bit about this, how to structure things to consider. I'm going to skip the video, as I said, the video that is related to vocabulary, because I need to talk a little bit about the research instruments, right? So that's going to be our next activity. I'm going to open the space in Campus Univo where you are going to submit a draft of your instruments. So the research instruments, that's something that I shared with you. Campus Univo is like, let's see how many slides. There are like 17 slides. that I hope you read. And before I start with the mini explanation, because that's something that you read, I want to know if you have any question related or something that you didn't understand from that reading. Before I explain, probably I can go over specific points or doubts that you have. Y ay, disculpe que estoy tomando un juguito, pero hay un calor. Está horrible, y ni me imagino cómo debe estar por donde ustedes viven, porque por allá es más caliente.
Eso le iba a decir.
Es que de verdad, aquí no, aquí, mira, ayer me costó tanto dormir y yo normalmente yo no duermo con el ventilador porque me molesta la garganta, pero ayer ustedes, qué barbaridad. Y lo peor es que en medio cayeron un par de gotitas aquí en la noche, pero se puso más caliente y ahora digo yo, ni me imagino todos los que viven en La Unión, en Usulután, en San Miguel, de verdad, no me imagino cómo van a estar ustedes por allá. En serio. Imagino yo, quizás yo estuviera sentado en un, no sé, enfrente del ventilador, no sé, algo así. Ok, I'm sorry.
Siento Yolic
Ah, sí, es usted, con el gran ventilador enfrente.
aquí a la par.
Pero no se oye. Okay, hay unos ventiladores que como que si tuvieran turbinas ahí en el motor ustedes. Dichosos, y eso es algo que me he dado cuenta, y perdón que les estoy hablando en español, pero yo me he fijado que allá en San Miguel, más que todo en San Miguel, porque por allá es donde he andado, hay un montón de lugares que tienen aire acondicionado.
La verdad que
Prácticamente todo.
¿Verdad que sí? Todos los lugares. Creo que cuando fui a San Miguel, hace como un mes, creo, entré a una farmacia y la farmacia con aire acondicionado. Yo no estoy diciendo que por esos rumbos no hay, pero hay unas que no. Pero yo allá todo montado. Fui a comer, ¿cómo se llama este lugar donde venden pan dulce bien rico y,
Pan chuco.
y desayunos ahí en San Miguel?
la Lorena,
A la Lorena, y fui a la Lorena. Pero fui a uno chiquito. Y y yo dije, yo quizás no tienen aire, pero el aire bien fuerte. Da Loren.
sí, la verdad es que cuando uno ve un lugar que no tiene aire, uno dice, "Oh, qué calor". Y tanto que no entra. Entonces también como va en lo de marketing.
Sí, no, pues sí, claro. No, y fíjense que eso yo me fijé también. Yo la primera vez que fui a la Univo y estuve trabajando en los cursos estos los cursos de especialización los domingos, me llamó la atención que todos los salones tenían aire acondicionado y yo la universidad donde yo conozco, hasta hace poquito pusieron ventiladores de techo, pero unos ventiladores todos chiquitos. Entonces digo yo, aquí el hotel La Univo, o sea, aquí hay pisto, dije yo, porque aquí han puesto aire acondicionado en todos. Sí, no, pero sí. Aunque a veces no funciona, dice Brenda. Aire caliente les tira. Ay, no, qué feo.
Y más la gran bulla que hacen a veces. Pero igual, ahí estamos.
Pues de eso nada. No, pero de eso nada, que tire aire caliente, mejor que no tirara nada.
Lo yuca era cuando llegaba uno a clase en temporada de invierno, que llegaba con el gran perro frío bien mojado y
Ay,
todo meter.
es cierto, eso no lo había pensado yo. Cuando llueve y entran en el salón con aire acondicionado y si sale peor, más enfermo.
Como cuando tienen un montón de pollitos chiquitos, plumas, así está uno apiñado en la esquina. Con todo.
De verdad. Qué chistoso. Sí, pues sí, para eso pagan, Hilda. Para eso pagan. Sí, ¿no? Y pues eso es lo que digo yo, media vez estén cómodos y la verdad es de que eso me llamó la atención cuando llegué allá, que todos los salones tenían aire. Y aquí...
Incluso aquí en algunas
Ajá.
escuelas los estudiantes se organizan para comprar aire y ponerlos en los salones.
De verdad.
En la escuela donde estoy, los bichos de noveno compraron uno y ahora
Ajá.
vender, entonces los de octavo se lo van a comprar.
Ay, qué uso, ¿va? Ay, sí. No, y a mí me llamó bastante la atención, pero es porque hace mucho calor. Mucho, mucho calor. Y ahorita me imagino que si yo no soporto el calor ahorita, no sé cómo están ustedes. Por eso es que,
Se acostumbra uno, Lick.
no, yo sé, se acostumbra, pero no sé, es que sofoca mucho. Bueno, como ustedes ya se acostumbraron. Sí, a mí el calor me desespera un montón, pero tengo que estar tomando agua o algo. Ya. Okay, so we're going to continue. I'm sorry, es como un comercial. We're going to check the
Hablemos de
instruments.
la vida, Ley.
Hablemos de la vida, contemos todas nuestras penas. No, pues que si contamos nuestras penas, más de alguno va a salir llorando.
Y no terminamos, Lick.
Sí, no terminamos, entonces eso no me lo van a poner en en el parcial, en el examen. Y si le
¿Quién dice
pregun-
que no? ¿Quién? Póngalo ahí, va a haber un speech de las cosas que nos han pasado.
Ah, no, ahí sí, ay, cállense, ahí sí cuentan todo con detalle. Pa.
The
Imagínense, imagínense que en la actividad esa les pongo talk about your more painful romantic situation. Ay, Dios,
Hablemos de cosas tristes, pero en inglés.
en inglés. Al fin y al cabo es lo que importa, que practiquen el idioma. Ay, no, pero imagínense, yo les digo eso, les doy la página de papel para que hagan el brainstorming y me la regresan toda llena de
De lágrimas.
toda llena de lágrimas. O agarran el papel para estarse limpiando en vez de estar escribiendo. No, mejor evitemos ese tipo de, de inconvenientes.
Procede a llorar.
Procede a llorar. No, hombre, si hay que, sí, cuando, es que yo siento que ese es el problema, ya hablando así en serio, de cuando uno habla en inglés, que a veces no encuentra las palabras, ¿verdad? Y es más relacionado con el vocabulario y lo que les dije yo hace un rato, más que todo es el confidence, ya. Pero si les pregunto yo, talk about your favorite movie, that is something that you manage pretty well, right? That's something that you manage pretty well and you feel confident about it. The problem is when you don't know much about the topic or the vocabulary because you don't feel confident about it. Yep. So things, right, to consider. Now, let's continue because I said I don't want to take much time of your life today. So we're talking about the research instruments. You need to present by this month, by this Friday, a draft, and I want you to focus on this. It's a draft because I need to make changes or suggest some things to add to erase. So this is not going to be like the final document, right? Something that is not over here and that I need to explain really well, and I need you to pay attention to this, is that the research instruments have to be intended to be clear. That's something that is not in the presentation, and I'm adding right now. It has to be clear. Every single research instrument that you're going to administer needs to have an objective. Okay, so you need to think about all these two things that they are not in the presentation, but you need to keep in mind. You need, because it is something from the university, that means that you need to add the generalities, and that's the first thing that you add. Universidad de Oriente, Facultad de Ciencias y Humanidades. Is that okay? Is that the name of the faculty? Facultad de Ciencias y Humanidades? Or what is the name of the faculty?
That's the one.
Yeah, right. So, licenciatura en, ¿cómo se llama su licenciatura? Licenciatura en inglés.
Farmacología.
Solo es licenciatura en inglés, no es de educación o teaching English. So what's the name? I mean, first name and last name of your career or your major?
Generalmente, like, solo la venden como bachelor in English. That's it. Like, there's no extra. Pero sí está orientada a educación.
Ah, okay. So you need to write the full name, right? Licenciatura en idioma inglés con especialidad enseñanza. Oh, I don't know. You know more about
Es que,
that. Ujú.
es que en la universidad solo la han bautizado como licenciatura en idioma inglés, así.
Solo así. Pero,
¿Sí?
pero es en Teaching English, ¿no?
Es que hay que ahorrar palabras, Lee.
No,
No.
pues sí, pero...
La licenciatura, o sea, el enfoque que se le dan a las clases es para dar clases, sí, pero la licenciatura solo es en inglés.
Ah.
O sea, solo así se llama licenciatura
Sí,
en
sí,
idioma
en
inglés, al
inglés.
contrario del profesorado que sí se llama profesorado en idioma inglés para tercer ciclo de educación básica y educación media. En la UCI solo se llama licenciatura en idioma inglés.
Ah, ok. Ok. Sí, porque como cada carrera tiene diferente. Por ejemplo, en la universidad donde yo trabajo, se llama licenciatura en ciencias de la educación, porque así se llama, licenciatura en ciencias de la educación con especialidad idioma inglés. Así se llama.
Me
Y
gusta más la mía.
te gusta más la suya, más corta, ¿va? Y, por ejemplo, yo el título mío es licenciatura en idioma inglés con especialidad de enseñanza. Así se llama la que yo estudié. Ok, el punto no es el nombre, sino que pongan las generalidades. So you write the generalities and then you put, for example, pre-specialization module, because that's the name of the project, right? Pre-specialization module research project. It has to be in Spanish because, you know, that's the name in Spanish, right? So all of this has to be in Spanish. You don't need to do it in English. And then the instruments have to be designed in a point where the participants need to understand what you are doing. Got it? So, so you have to be careful with this. Yes, Edwin, do you have a question?
Yes, we have like research that is based on listening. In this case, you're asking about having some questionnaires and whatever that we're going to be using to be evaluating the students.
Mm-hmm.
Since our research is based on short talks on the listening section, pretty much part A, so we are going to be using that as a instrument, right? So if we have to submit something to you, that will be like the main part of our instrument, and of course the extra information you're asking right now, but that would be like the main point.
Okay, so in those cases, and thanks for bringing the point, you need to think about what is the objective of your research. For example, what's the objective or your research objective, Eric? Was it Eric who asked? Edwin, sorry, Edwin. So what's your research objective?
Do you have an easier question? Because I don't remember that.
You need to know. That's not an
I
easy.
forgot it.
Oh, so you're going to say next question.
Yeah, I got
skip.
it right here. It's open. Give me 1 second.
Okay, may I use my wild card? Can I talk to someone?
Okay, to demonstrate the effectiveness of the listening practice in the improvement of the comprehension of long and short talks.
Okay, good. So in those cases, you don't have a hypothesis, right? Do you?
Yep.
You have a hypothesis?
No, we don't.
No, you don't have a hypothesis. So you need to evaluate, for example, at the end, okay, at the end, you need to administer these instruments. How are you going to evaluate or how are you going to make the effectiveness. So this is
We
where
were
you are
thinking about that,
Mhm.
like
So-
giving them the part 8 of the listening section. So since they are going to be practicing with the strategies and also with the skills, so after having them getting prepared, we were thinking about like applying them the instrument, which was going to be this questionnaire I'm talking about, the part 8. So my question is like, if we are supposed to give you that as an instrument, because of course that's the one we're going to be using in order to check out the improvement that these guys have had.
So in this case, and this is something that you need to be careful. So you need to, because for research is not you're going to apply the instruments, I mean the test itself, like in your case, the test, but you also need to get the students' input. Okay, so what they think about the strategies that you have shared and everything. So at the end of administering the test, my suggestion is that you administer a short questionnaire. Got it? In which you can ask students some questions. For example, so it can be a checklist, or it can be as you could see in the presentation. It can also be like just no questions or multiple choice questions. For example, you can ask, do you feel more confident about answering part A of the test after the classes that you took with us? Do you think now this section is easier for you? So at the end, you also need to confirm this from the students. It's not only that the results that you're going to get, because probably you can have the same results. Probably not. What will happen, Edwin, if you teach someone how to do something, but at the end has a lower grade? So at least
Effectiveness.
The effectiveness, at least right now they have techniques, right? So my suggestion, at the end, try to apply a research instrument, knowing or trying to get some of their points of view on what you did. Got it? Is that clear?
Yes, licenciado, that's actually very clear.
Okay, so because at the end, for example, you can contrast. Okay, the students got better results, and they also told us that they feel more confident, right?
Yep, thank you very much.
Okay, good. So we for those that also are going to do the same, that are going to apply I don't know, questions, or like in this case, that you are going to design something and then you're going to administer the test. So in those cases, I also need to revise them, right? So let me know. And in this case, you are not going to submit anything to that because probably you're going to do it online or etc. So if you have them ready before Friday, it's okay. But remember, you're going to have a period of around 3 weeks, taking into account Semana Santa, in which you need to administer the instruments, because this specific module, it's about designing the instruments, analyzing the information, administering the information and analyzing the info. Got it? So you need to find different, that's what I'm telling you. For everything, you need to design the generalities, right? Universidad de Oriente, blah, 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 and the objective, right? My suggestion for the generalities, do it in Spanish. The objective, depending on the group, you can write the objective in English or in Spanish, right? It will be up to you. So my suggestion, make it clear. You need to use a language in which the participants understand what you are going to do. The problem sometimes with writing objectives in our instruments is that we use technical words. But remember, the instrument is designed for the participants. Also, you need to evaluate which type of instrument you want to use. Remember, and this is something that we're going to study right now. Normally, the research instruments, as you can see in the screen, is a questionnaire, an interview, and an observation. A questionnaire, that is the technique. The questionnaire is the technique. The instrument is the survey, right? That's the, you need to understand, or you need to find differences between the technique and the instrument. Okay, so the questionnaire is the technique, the instrument is the survey. The interview, there are different types of interviews. The interview can be a guided interview. An interview can be a focus group, for example. A focus group, as probably you checked in the document, or as you may know for general culture, a focus group is, for example, you get people in a meeting, virtually or face-to-face, and you ask the same question to everybody, and everybody talks, right? The only thing, and that's something that is not mentioned also in here in the document, and that's what I'm giving you extra info. In the case that you are conducting an interview, make sure that you write a protocol. What is a protocol? A protocol is you writing a piece of paper instructions on how to conduct the interview. You can do it in Spanish or you can do it in English. Por ejemplo, ustedes pueden poner en la parte de arriba el protocolo. Protocolo. Punto número 1, saludar al entrevistado. Punto número 2, explicar el objetivo de la investigación. Punto número 3, preguntarle al entrevistado si no hay inconveniente que se le grabe. Punto número 4, y ustedes van anotando en un papel qué es lo que tienen que hacer. What happens sometimes with the interview is that people sit down and they don't say anything. So you, as an interviewer, you need to let them know, the interviewee, all these things, because it's more interaction, right? So that is the protocol. A protocol is a paper where you write the instructions on how to develop the interview. Why do we create a protocol? The protocol, we do it so someone can administer the interview and another person can do it as well. Normally in an interview, you talk to 2 persons or 2 or 3 persons, right? Imagine you have a focus group as an interview. And then you have, I don't know, 10 persons in a Zoom meeting. And then you say, you read the protocol, right? Okay, buenas tardes, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Punto número 1, ponen presentarse. Mi nombre es Roberto Carlos Flores, trabajo en la Universidad de Oriente como tutor de las clases de inglés de los módulos de preespecialización. Y ahí dice número 2, hablar sobre el objetivo. Bueno, esta mañana nos hemos reunido con el objetivo de hacerles algunas preguntas. Nosotros como grupo Estamos desarrollando una investigación como parte de nuestro módulo de preespecialización y de graduación. Esta actividad está relacionada acerca de conocer un poco acerca de las perspectivas de ustedes como alumnos sobre el uso del aire acondicionado en los salones de clase de la universidad. Entonces necesitamos saber cuáles son sus perspectivas acerca de esto. Entonces vamos a hacerle, y ahí pueden poner número 3, cómo va a ser el procedimiento, va a explicar cómo van a ser las cosas. Entonces vamos a turnarnos con mis compañeros y les vamos a hacer algunas preguntas, pero antes que todo quisiéramos saber si no hay algún inconveniente con que esta reunión se grabe. So in those cases, you let them know how you're going to record it, right? If you're going to record it in audio, if you're going to record it in video, etc. So with the interviews, you need to be very careful too, right? And also with the observation. Okay, so you need to design all the instruments. They are for you and they are for them too. So that's why you need to be very clear. Instructions have to be very clear too. The objective should be very clear too. So with the instructions, you need to let them know what you are going to do too. Yeah, don't you worry, Natalie. Anyways, I'm recording this session for you to watch it later, okay? In case that you miss one point or your internet is failing, you can go back and take a look at the video later. So we have basically these three instruments, right? So my point is that little by little, you get to know about all of this. I'm not going to talk about the characteristics because you can do this, but basically the research instrument needs to be aligned with your research objectives, right? So in the objective, when you write it, you need to go back, check, and check what your objective says, right? Also, and this is something that I want you to be very careful too. Before you write your instruments, you need to be knowledgeable about the topic. How can you become knowledgeable? Take a look at your literature review. Okay, so far you have already written a report with the literature review. Read that. The literature review is not just a section in your research that you just write pages because you need to meet the standard of writing something. The literature review is for you to become more knowledgeable about the topic. It's not about me, it's not about Micah, it's not about any other professor who's going to read it. The literature review is for you. For example, if you are talking about developing listening, first you need to know how listening works. So that should have been included in the literature review section. So the literature review is all that information that enriches your knowledge about the topic. If there is something that you need to add, you can still add it, right? There is no problem. If you, I don't know, during this week, you are taking a look at some other books or some other examples, and then you find something that you like and that you would like to include into the literature review, you can include it, right? Remember, the literature review also is part of the final report. So you need to enrich more about the topic, you can still add more info. Okay, so that's why all the research instruments and everything that you're going to design has to be also aligned with your hypothesis. For example, and I know that you were talking about this, So when we're talking about the hypothesis, remember that you think about something that you may think that may happen, right? The hypothesis basically is something that you want to prove, or the idea of something that may be affecting or may affect X and Y, right? So that's the hypothesis. And at the beginning, you also wrote some research objectives, right? So the instruments must be aligned there. Also, a good research instrument should not be biased. And I want you to be familiarized with this word, because being biased is placing my point of view or asking questions probably to guide an answer. For example, you're going to ask, I'm going to use the example of the AC, right? Because it's something practical. Sobre el aire acondicionado. Por ejemplo, una pregunta. Evaluando, ese es el objetivo, evaluación de la efectividad de los aire acondicionados como factor primordial en el entorno de aprendizaje en los alumnos de la carrera de idioma inglés. Si en la hipótesis, los alumnos de inglés aprenden si tienen un ambiente de aprendizaje adecuado con un aire acondicionado adecuado. Redondea ahí adecuado, pero ustedes me entienden, ¿no? Entonces vengo yo y les hago una pregunta y les digo yo, ok, this is the question. ¿Verdad que ustedes aprenden más si el aire acondicionado está encendido? Imagine that's the question. ¿Verdad que ustedes aprenden más si el aire acondicionado está encendido? That is a biased question. Why is it biased? Because I am forcing you, verdad que. So when I write verdad que, my question is completely biased. No. I'm about to finish. I'm about to finish. And I'm sorry. But you know, anytime that you need to go, as I said, to stand up or do something, grab something, you can do it. You know, the recording is going to be here. And I'm sorry, I didn't think about a break. I didn't think about a break, but I'm sorry, my apologies. We're going to finish a little bit early today. So if I ask this type of question, is it true that you like your classes with AC? That question is biased, because I should not be guiding my question to use words that may affect, or I can lead, your answer to something that I want. It should not be like that. It should be completely objective. It has to be clear and it has to be guided objectively. Got it? If you need to get a letter from the faculty, make sure that you get a letter. Think about that. Would you need a letter from the faculty, from Mr. Peña, because he needs to write it, because you know he's the authority? You need to think about that. Normally, when you are working in different groups, and then you say investigation or research, sometimes the persons who are going to be participating may be frightened. And they may be frightened because normally they say, they think about, I'm doing something wrong and I don't want anyone to come and observe me or ask me or to know that I'm doing something wrong. So if you need to get a letter from the faculty, do it, okay? That's something that Mr. Peña can help you. So with the interviews, there are structured interviews. Those interviews are formal, got it? And they are interviews that normally you meet with someone and then you pop up the questions. It's orally. Also, an unstructured interview, and I don't recommend this one, is just a type of questions that happen naturally. Probably you come up with the questions. So the ones that we are going to use in our particular case, if apply, it's a structured interview. Also, something that I was telling you, it's the focus interview, right? So the focus interview also is a type of question with focus groups. It can be a focus group. You can have different people talking about particular experiences. So that can be the focus interview or focus group interview, right? So you can also apply that one. Also an observation. So with the observation, if you are going to observe a class, for example, you need to do the same, but the observation is going to be only for you, right? For example, you are going to observe a class. You need to ask for permission to someone, and you're going to go and observe, right? Also, obviously, you are going to observe aspects that you are interested in knowing, right? For an observation, this is the technique. The instrument can be a checklist, okay? So it's a checklist. A checklist is created like a rubric, and then you start writing in one column aspects that you want to observe. For example, talking about the AC, I can go and observe how the students perform. So for example, I can write, the students seem to be comfortable in the classroom. Yes, no. Students participate in the class. Yes, no. So that's going to be what you're going to use. It's a checklist. So the observation is conducted through a checklist. So as I said, in one column, you have the criteria to observe, and the other one, just no. Or it can be grading scale from 1 to 5, etc., or 1 to 10. Normally, it's just a checklist, right? Just no. So that's the observation, right? There are two different types of observation. One is the participant observer, is when you belong to the group and you participate. And the other one is non-participant. Is, for example, you do not do anything, you just observe. In the first one, for example, if you are a student and you are part of a group, you can, for example, take notes, right? Like in this case, if I were to be participating, I can have it, and I said, me siento cómodo con el aire acondicionado. Yes. I participate more. Yes. So I'm part of it. And I also evaluate what's happening around me. In the other one, non-participant, is when I'm just watching, right? I'm just watching. And then we have the questionnaire. The questionnaire in this case can have different forms. For example, a questionnaire, for example, is like in Edwin's case, the questionnaire can be an exam to evaluate how the students perform. Got it? It's something systematic. I'm evaluating this. So that can be a questionnaire. A question can be a grammar test, for example, to check how the students perform. That can be a questionnaire. That can be the questionnaire, as I said, is a method, and that technique has another name. For example, the test, a survey. Got it? So techniques and instruments are something different. Questionnaire is the technique. A test is the instrument itself. Got it? So as I said, a questionnaire can take different forms. It can be online. It can be in paper. Got it? Also, you need to follow the instructions. And then you have all of this. You need to be very careful on the type of questions. Sometimes, and this is something that students ask me when they create instruments, research instruments. Teacher, y les tenemos que preguntar el nombre. Sometimes it can be necessary, sometimes it cannot be. Teacher, hay que preguntarles la edad. No necesario. I mean, is the age something that influence? Is something that you want to know? For example, there were some of you that are working on video games, right? Obviously, in those cases, because if it is video games and children, you may ask the children their age, but not their names. That's something confidential. So every project has different peculiarities. So I cannot tell you, write a name, male or female, with that effect. Normally, it does not affect. I want you to focus on writing questions that are meaningful. Okay, not asking people probably things that do not, that are not relevant. Usted es casado. So, estado civil, soltero, casado, divorciado, acompañado, no sé, despechado, whatever. So in those cases, I don't think it's necessary to ask, right? It's not necessary. Es importante, Edwin, pues pero es que va a depender de qué tipo de investigación está haciendo. Si usted está investigando una futura novia, entonces en ese caso sí le puede preguntar, pero en este caso que es algo profesional, it's not important, right? So that's what I'm telling you, depends on your purpose, on your objective, right? So, but normally that's not information relevant. So focus only in gathering important information. Something that you need to be careful to, and that's some of the disadvantages of administering instruments, is that sometimes respondents may not answer, for example. Or for example, you send links and the people don't respond. Or sometimes you say, okay, we're going to take a test, but suddenly the students don't show up. So that's why you need also to tell the students in advance, please, or the participants, please, this will take you only 5 minutes of your time. So let the participants know, right, how much time they're going to spend. And you need to be very careful on that. Got it? So there are many things, probably you are not well documented on this, but that's what I'm explaining. Or sometimes they can lie. I know, Hilda, that may be another issue, that the answers may not be real, right? So, but let's try to be as objective as possible, right? So before preparing a questionnaire or any other type of instrument, you need to do live research. So this is what I'm talking about, the literature review, right? Talking to knowledgeable people. If you have issues, for example, on how to conduct a questionnaire or any other research instrument, you can ask someone who has more knowledge than you. I mean, you can ask me, you can send me an email. And in this case, I am the knowledgeable person, right? So if you have any question, please talk to me, send me an email, and I'm gonna try to help you. So you need to master the guidelines. You need to know what you're going to do. The guidelines is the process of developing your instrument. First, write the questionnaire, edit the questionnaire, rewrite the questionnaire, and also you need to pre-test. If you're going to administer a questionnaire or any instrument, you need to pre-test it. How can you pre-test a test or any instrument? First, you take it or someone takes it. Someone, for example, if you are developing the test, let's say like Edwin's group that is going to work on a test. Okay, have everything ready, have it on paper, have it on virtually. If it is a questionnaire that is online, take it first, because we can find some issues that we need to change, right? Or you can send it to someone, right? Someone else can try it, can test it, and tell you things, give you recommendations, right? So make sure that you do this. Also, there are different types of questions that you can ask normally in a questionnaire. We have the free type of questionnaires. For example, ¿qué piensa usted acerca del aire acondicionado en el salón de clase? That is a free answer. ¿Qué piensa usted? A person can tell me whatever they want, right? The only thing is that you need to make sure that that we are careful on how to analyze the information later, because the analysis of information has to be done differently. We can have qualitative information and quantitative information. Qualitative information is specifically when we have open questions like ¿qué piensa usted? How are we going to analyze a question that says ¿qué piensa usted? Imagine if I ask you, Alejandra, what do you think about the bus system in your hometown? That is a very wide question. It's a free type of question. The answer can be any type of answer. So that type of information that you're going to take is qualitative because it's non-numerical. It's something that you need to analyze. That's why it is necessary if you, for example, are interviewing someone, that you need to record it. Because after that recording, you need to transcribe it and find keywords or important categories that will allow you to understand the content. For example, if I ask Alejandra, what do you think about the bus system? Let's say I'm going to do it in Spanish. Vengo yo y voy a Santa Ana y le pregunto a la gente qué piensan del servicio, el servicio de aseo de Santa Ana, del tren de aseo. ¿Qué piensa usted del tren de aseo? Es una pregunta muy amplia. Viene alguien y me dice, el servicio de aseo es defectuoso. El tren de la basura pasa cada mes. Es defectuoso. Entonces ya tengo una palabra, defectuoso. Then I come to somebody else and I said, what do you think about, ¿qué piensa usted acerca del servicio del tren de aseo? A mí me parece excelente. 3 veces por semana. Okay, good. Perfect. Then I go to another person. And then I'm asking this type of question, but I may find 2 types of answers, or 3 or 4 is limited. And then I said, I analyze all the people information, and then I can see, right? Imagine it's an interview. And I said, ay, me parece defectuoso. Okay, defectuoso. Another person can tell me, es inconstante. Okay, so then I have. So what I do with open questions, and that is the risk. You need to go back and analyze, find keywords, find repetitive words that we can put them into categories. For example, I said, going back with the AC, I'm asking you, ¿qué les parece el aire acondicionado en la universidad? Hay unos que me dicen, a mí me parece excelente. Otros me dicen, estoy muy satisfecho. Heladito siempre. Como cuando ponen en los comentarios de cuando venden un carro, hela rico ponen. So you can add different types of questions. But somebody comes and says, me parece malo. So, and I analyze the questions, I analyze the answers, and I say, okay, 3 persons said it's okay. 1 person says no. And then is what I need to transcribe if needed in an interview. In an interview, that's a disadvantage. You need to transcribe it and then analyze it. Because if you're doing an interview, sometimes you don't take notes. We are not used to taking notes, but if you record someone an interview with your phone, you say, ¿me permite grabarle? Sí, vaya. Ahorita lo voy a grabar. Ya se busca la aplicación y ya la graba. So you can do it, right? So there are different types of questions, and it will be up to you to the ones that you are going to that you're going to ask. As I said, also there are guided responses where you present the options. So the guided responses are those, for example, recall type when you recall them. Like for example, I was telling you, dichotomous questions when it's just no, that's dichotomous, or bueno malo, that's dichotomous because there are only 2 options. Then you have multiple choice when you provide different choices, bueno, malo, regular, etc. Good. Then it's multiple choices. Multiple choices is, ¿qué le parece la comida que se sirvió hoy en la cafetería? Buena, mala, a veces buena, y usted le pone, puede marcar más de una, o puede marcar o marque 2. So multiple responses is those type of questions when you tell the people that they can select more than 1 option, right? And then you can have different types of data that you're going to get. Descriptive or verbal data, that is the type of data that is recorded through an interview, right? Quantified or numerical data, that's the one that you can put in the analysis, for example, in different graphics. Got it? It says intensity of feeling, emotion, or attitude. It's when you get answers related to feelings, degree of judgment, understanding, or reasoning. Normally, we only get the first 2. And then some guidelines, not only for writing questions in a questionnaire or survey, but in general. And this is something that I usually see in my students. Yo les digo esto porque yo superviso trabajos de graduación en forma de investigación en la universidad donde trabajo, y a veces los alumnos no escriben bien, pero ni en español. ¿Ok? No escriben bien en español. Les cuesta. ¿Ok? Remember, you need to be polite, you need to be kind, You need to be respectful when you make questions. Por ejemplo, una vez le revisé a un alumno y le decía, pregunta a un alumno de tercer ciclo, era, ¿a vos qué te parecen tus clases? I mean, that is not a correct way to ask someone, ¿a vos qué te parecen tus clases? ¿Cómo sería la respuesta? ¿Qué le parecen sus clases de inglés? Pero le voy a poner a vos. That's not respectful. So you need to be very careful on the way that we make all of this. Got it? So some things to take into account. Avoid repetitive questions. Sometimes we write questions that are kind of similar. So let's make sure that we don't write similar questions. If necessary, you need to illustrate. Marque con una X y ponen un paréntesis y en medio una X. ¿Ya? Good. State all questions affirmatively. That's another thing to consider. And also make the respondents anonymous, which is make sure, if not necessary, to add the names of the persons who will be participating. Got it? So all of this is something that we need to take into account when designing the instruments. Okay? Good. So as I said, you need to do things. You need to meet with your group and send me the first draft by Friday. Okay? By Friday. I'm gonna try to give you feedback as quickly as possible for you to start administering the instruments quickly, right? Because we are not going to have enough time. Now I'm going to show you this just as a reminder. Okay, so we have modified this, right? We have modified this. The class online, we said, is going to be the 18th, right? The online class, instead of 8th, is going to be 18th, right? And then the rest the same. Make sure also to save the dates. Got it? To save the dates. We have group presentation, that is April 24th. May the 8th, we're going to have a quiz on what we have been studying, tips, etc., and the report. But I need to go back and check this one. Instruments design is for April the 8th. So that's where you're going to send me the draft. Then on April the 29th, you are going to send a document that is a reflection that is related about the process of administering the instruments. So on April 29th, you are going to write a very detailed document on what you have been doing applying the instruments. For example, and I need you to record this, and one person or two persons in the group need to do this. You need to write, for example, what you have been doing. And then you're gonna upload the document specifying, for example, let's say on April 20th, we contacted one person, X person. This person told us that he will be willing to help us with an interview. Or for example, on April 16th, we taught a class on listening. That was the first session. After the class, we administered a short test. The students' progress is a little bit more evident. 2 days later, we administered another class, and we could see that the students were participating more. So it's going to be like a short, like a diary, let's say, where you are going to describe or you are going to reflect on how you have been doing with applying the different instruments, tests, surveys, interviews, etc. Probably by April 29th, you would not have applied all the instruments, right? You wouldn't have done it, probably at 100%, but at least it's going to be an advance, right? It's just a document for me to see that you are working, okay? Got it? And at the end, on May 15th, you're going to submit the final document, which basically is going to be the analysis, right? And also make sure late submission for the first 2 documents will discount 1 point from the report's final grade. So you need to upload it. Questions? No questions? Are we clear?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks for replying. Okay, so remember, Friday, you need to send the drafts, send the draft of the documents. Good. No class this week until the 18th. Enjoy your holidays as much as you can. You're going to have plenty of time. I'm really sorry for those who aren't working and won't have any day off. I'm sorry. But, you know, try to see the positive thing. You're going to make a little bit more money, which is good. Money never hurts if it's earned correctly. Okay, so we're going to finish. I will be waiting for your drafts and wait for my feedback. Okay. Sorry, not too sorry. Yes. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for joining this session. And for those who were not in class, that there were 2 or 3, make sure that they watch the video. Y en esto sí voy a hacer un poco, voy a dar un poco de énfasis. Hubieron como 2 o 3 que no entraron. Lo que pasa en este tipo de cosas, cuando entran o no entran, este tipo de alumnos a veces le preguntan a los demás qué vieron. Y normalmente, si no son, bueno, espero que sean responsables, a veces la carga, y es así, ustedes saben que es así, la carga de las actividades evaluadas o las cosas que hay que hacer recaen en los que estuvieron en clase. Y los que no estuvieron en clase se lavan las manos diciendo que como yo no estuve en clase, vaya, entonces usted como buen alumno, usted dice, bueno, te voy a dar un día para que veas la clase, está en la plataforma y nos vamos a reunir tal día. ¿Ya? Porque tenemos que hacer esto, lo de los instrumentos, para el viernes. Y como les digo, si hay alguien que no está trabajando, no es que le vayan a poner el dedo, simplemente, y ustedes saben que es injusto que una persona esté trabajando en el grupo y que la otra persona o las otras personas no estén haciendo nada. Y entiendo, y créanme lo que yo soy bien empático en esto. Yo entiendo que, por ejemplo, todos tengamos unas actividades. Estemos dando clase, estemos trabajando, tengamos cosas personales, etc. Pero si ustedes están en el curso es porque ustedes tienen que ganarse una nota. Y si usted por estar en otras ocupaciones no trabaja, siento que también es bien injusto que una persona sí lo haga. ¿Ya? Entonces, para los que no estuvieron en clase, espero que me estén oyendo en el video ya grabado y tienen que trabajar. Y los que no estén trabajando, pues solamente me dicen, ¿verdad? Entonces, vamos a estar bien. ¿Ok? So, thank you so much, everybody. Please check the platform. I'm going to include some comments over there. I'm going to post a video that we didn't see because we didn't have enough time. And we didn't talk about the thing for the call center. A mí me pidieron que los compartiera. No tenemos mucho tiempo, pues, pero se trata de hacer lo que se pueda y no alcance a cubrirlo. Así es que, I'm sorry. So thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy your holidays and see you in a couple of weeks. So thank you. See you later.
Thank you. Have a good